Alright. Khan, Shalom Akim as always. To start off with, and double honors to the great also the apostles as well. Father Yahshua, for giving me the power, confidence and the faith to come out here and to keep preaching. And also a quick word for the brother as well. Father, I don't want to mention his name, but you know who you are. Found out here because now I've got my KJV Bible as well. I've got the Apocrypha as well. So, God, found out here, found out. Now, of course, previously, I know in pretty much most of the camp videos, I've been saying that I'm going to read out the New King James Version, and then I'll write down the precepts of the KJV, and then read it out from paper. But now, Akia found a way, offered me money, to get this. So once more, found out. At least you got the Apocrypha and the KJV. And also, some camps as well, because I realized when I ordered this one, the 1611 version, it already has the Apocrypha in it. So either way, because of the fact that right now, the thing is I can go to camp with just this and I have everything, the precepts from the Apocrypha, and of course the precepts from the rest of the scriptures as well. Whereas today's topic is, there'll be, I think something along the lines of there'll be no grey zone in the time to come. Right now, we've got people who are taking the juice. Of course, brothers know what it means by juice. It's false hope. The thing is, right now people are still able to buy and sell. Especially as we know, brothers living in the UK, so right now we're still in that position where we can still buy or sell. There's still that grey zone, where those who have taken the juice and those who haven't taken the juice are still able to live. That's the thing. Of course, in Esau, when Esau turns things up, which is pretty much Yahweh Shimei Shai turning things up with the beast system, the thing is, there will be no grey zone at all. Which means you're either going to have to choose to be for the beast system or against it. Exactly. So, let me get the first precept, Yahweh Tazah. There'll be no grey zone at all. That goes into Revelation 3 verse 16 about being lukewarm. You gotta be hot or cold. Come on, boy. Salakia. Gotta be hot for this truth, man. Coming into the season where Yahweh Shimei Shai only favored those who have actually been serving him the whole time, consistent in service. And the time to come where it's going to be Jacob's trouble. Let me get this. So this is it. It says here. Actually, let me read the previous verse. Come. This is Revelation chapter 3, verse 15. It says here, I know thy works, that thou art neither cold nor hot. How would thou work cold or hot? Which means Yahweh Shimei Shai prefers for what his servants to be either cold or hot, or for you. He's trying to do the will of Yahweh Shimei Shai to be over cold or hot. Of course, cold being the fact that you're still not being able to do anything, you're not being too fruitful in your works. That's what it means to be cold in the scriptures here. That pertains to that verse specifically. Revelation 3 verse 15. And this is verse 16. It says here, so then, because thou art lukewarm, and neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth. So of course, because of the fact that if the servant isn't neither cold or hot, Yahweh Shimei Shai will still reject you nevertheless. So it means that we still have to be fervent in the spirit, hot in the spirit, not producing fruits. Of course, we have our moments where demons will come upon us, that demon of laziness, As we get that demon, You've got to pray and fast in order to go against that demon. And of course, we are susceptible to demons in this flesh as well. So I'll read it one more time, verse 16. Actually, verse 16, this is Revelation chapter 3, verse 16. It says here, "To them, because thou art lukewarm, and neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth." So Yahweh Shem Yahshai wants either one or the other, either to be cold or hot. And really, if you break it down, if you're lukewarm or cold, it's pretty much the same thing. Because the fact that you're not as hot in the truth, you have to preach Yahweh Shem Yahshai, preach about Yahweh Shem Yahshai. Bring the truth to Israel, waking up the Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, teaching them based on the knowledge of Yahweh Shem Yahshai. It's giving you the spirit to learn from the apostles, you know? That's what we're supposed to be doing. You gotta be hot in this truth. Can't pertain to that. Let me get another precept. First Peter. First Peter chapter 1, verse 10. "Wherefore the rather, brethren, give diligence to make your calling and election sure. For if ye do these things, ye shall never fail. Ye shall never fall." So of course that's pertaining to the fact that you gotta be diligent, meaning you gotta be consistent. You gotta have that hot spirit on you, to keep doing the works, but day by day. Of course, if you miss a few days, get back on. Like we fall, keep going. That's the point. Just fall and we keep going. So first, I'll read it one more time. This is Salakia, if I said First Peter. This is 2 Peter chapter 1, verse 10. "Wherefore the rather, brethren, give diligence to give your calling and election sure. For if ye do these things, ye shall never fall." So God, means if we actually in order to make our election sure, let's be consistent in our works, being hot, of course being fervent in the spirit, always producing fruit, not being a tree that doesn't produce fruit, no matter what the conditions are. No matter if the heathens look at you weird, you've got to keep going. Alright. Says, "Wherefore give diligence to make your calling and election sure." So of course, Yahushua calling you into this truth. Of course, Yahweh Tazar will be worthy to be part of the elect. That's why, in order to make it sure, we've got to make sure our works are more consistent now. We've got to keep going no matter the conditions, no matter what. Let me get another scripture too. I pertain to the grey zone as well. The grey zone really, as I said before, is being for or against the system. Right now, we have an in-between section because of the current situation where the Jews and the juicer, the ones who took the false hope and the ones who didn't take the false hope, of course, the thing is they're still able to buy and sell. That's the thing. So that grey zone is still there in the UK. And of course some other countries too. An example, having a fervent spirit is mentioned in Acts. Basically, when I think this Israelite called Apollos, when he was preaching out to the Akim. Let me actually get, I don't want to butcher it. It's Acts 18, verse 24. I think he also mentions that he was mighty in the scriptures, which means he knew a lot in the scriptures. And he studied a lot. As we know in Ezekiel chapter 3, he's talking about eating the roll. Eating this roll right here. This roll right here. That's what's supposed to be eaten. I'm not talking about actual piece of bread or flour type thing. This is the roll that was supposed to be eaten. Reading, absorbing, studying, taking notes, understanding, and of course teaching as well. But of course we need to study first. Let me get Acts chapter 18. This is Acts chapter 18, verse 24. And a certain Jew named Apollos, born in Alexandria, an eloquent man and mighty in the scriptures, came to Ephesus. Verse 25. This man was instructed in the way of the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahshua, and being fervent in the spirit, he spake and taught diligently the things of Yahweh Shem Yahshua, knowing only the baptism of John. Of course, it says previously in the verse 24 that he was mighty in the scriptures, which means he knew a lot and he studied a lot too. That's the point. So of course, don't let the part in verse 25 saying knowing only the baptism of John. He didn't just know that. It means he was mighty in the scriptures. Like being mighty in the scriptures means that you're able to navigate through the scriptures and also pretty much teach Israelites in the variety of topics that there is, like the fear of Yahweh Shem Yahshua, faith, breaking down who Yahweh is, being the Messiah, the deliverer, multiple breakdowns, man, to teach them and bring them up in the wisdom of Yahweh Shem Yahshua. Let me read that one more time. And this is an example of being fervent in the spirit, being hot in the spirit, producing works. No matter what you get, like in terms of facial expressions, well, tribulation that you may suffer, affliction, the demon entering another vessel in order to tempt you. You've got to still be hot in the spirit. Of course, we do have our down moments, but again, as a righteous, as the scriptures say, a righteous man falleth 7 times. And that's completion. So multiple times we're going to fall. As I said before in the beginning of the video, that we're going to also get up as well. The Arat is us record. Oh, can't, it's record. I'll read it one more time. This is Acts 18, verse 25. It says, this man instructed in the way of the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahshua, and being fervent in the spirit, he spake and taught diligently the things of the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahshua, knowing only the baptism of John. So of course we know, as it says in verse 24, it was mighty in the scriptures, and he also mentions that he had a fervent spirit. What does it mean for something to be fervent or hot? It means that it's supposed to be active. That's the thing. When we're out here in the Highways and Byways, we're pretty much fishing men right here. Jeremiah 16 verse 16, talking about there will be fishers of men and also hunters coming after those fishers. As Israelites pass by, some of them may listen. Brother, you know you're an Israelite, one of the chosen people of the Most High. Make sure you come back to Yahweh Yahushua, man. Because the mark of the beast is coming, and that's the microchip implant. It's not the juice that people are getting injected into their arms. And of course, as I know, even though I'm talking right now, not all Jakes, not all Israelites are going to be listening. Of course, sometimes you can also discern if it's a heathen, but at times, you know, the speckled bird, the knowledge of the speckled bird, you know that, of course, Israel is scattered amongst all nations, and they can have all types of faces. Really, it's about who's really attracted to the word. Because their spirit will then be attracted to your spirit. They may even recognize it because you may have preached to them in the past, in their past life. But the point being is, you've got to preach on to anyone who comes by reading. If it be a speckled bird, he may have a different appearance, still preach to them. It's not for no reason that he would have been attracted to the word. You know? Imagine a speckled bird looking like an Ishmaelite, or a Moabite, or a Chinese, well, that's pretty much the same thing, or an Ammonite, which is a Japanese. You never know. You're right. Have you heard of the scripture talking about the real Jews and the fake Jews?
No.
You know, I'll bring it out. basically, my intention today is pretty much to teach onto the real Israelites with the scriptures in Revelation, I think 2 verse 9 or 3 verse 9. I'll get it right now. It's talking about the fact that there's fake Jews, real Jews.
In which one?
Revelation.
Revelation
Yeah.
3:19.
Let me get it for you. I think it's 2 verse 9. Actually, it's 3 verse 9. Sorry. How's your day been so far?
Okay, not too bad, not too bad. Could be better, could be worse. You know, we praise the Lord.
At least the sun you're
We are breathing, and you know, we are here. Many millions have died in the last few days, last few years, the last couple of years. So many, 7-8 million died here with this pandemic. So we are
So it says here, I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. So then it brings into mind what's the question where, okay, who are the real Jews? So then we go to Deuteronomy 28, where it's talking about the fact that where the Most High blesses his people for listening to his commands, and also curses his people for disobeying the commandments. Let me get a Revelation 20. Sorry, not Revelation, Deuteronomy.
Why is she phoning me? I can't block the number because Sriram, the Indian boy, he's staying at the fucking hotel. Next week.
pure of your pure people, all the commandments this vision. I command thee these persons come before thee and overtake thee.
Which means that because of the fact that the Jews in the past, as we know, Egypt, the reason why they went into captivity was that they listened to the Most High. They wanted to worship other idols and pretty much follow their own way. The Jews being the Israelites. And the thing is, today, in the modern day times, people think, remember the scripture that I read, Revelation 2 verse 9, about there being fake Jews being a part of the synagogue of Satan. The thing is, if there are fake Jews, you ask yourselves, what are the real ones? The real ones are identified by their person in Deuteronomy 28. As we read in Deuteronomy 28 verse 15, that they're a person. And right now today, if you look at some of those persons, this is one of them. I'll read verse 6 and 8.
King James, what is it, Jericho?
Jericho.
Jericho, but it is small.
Was it the land?
Yeah, land of days. Older than the
I don't know too much about the issue. I've still got to study about it. So I've got to study about
Not
it.
on that Jericho, you know. More older they say than this come up, you know. It was more. And the 12 tribes of Israel, they are not the real tribes.
What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
Yeah. Are they the real tribes or not?
Oh, you're asking?
Yeah.
Oh, like Reuben and
The descendants of Joseph, of is it Abraham?
Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, that's the Israelites. But yeah, I mean, by name, of course, those names are in another language, which is English. Or I think James and Nine or something. That's the root of those words. But there were actually ancient Hebrew words meant to replace those tribe names. But they aren't real. They aren't real. And they exist today as well. It's just that it's not really, it's not known by everyone. It's not common knowledge. Normally when I preach with a group, but right now I'm preaching on my own, they'll have like a board of the names of the tribes of Israel and who they are today. For example, Judah is seen as the so-called Negroes, Benjamin is seen as the so-called
Negro.
yeah, Negroes.
They're the first ones.
Yeah.
Or, you know, that's what because I've got a brother who speaks about this as well. All of the Jews predict that they are the, you know, but there are far better, you severe.
There were controversies between well, not controversies, but rather, well, I'll say fights.
History written in the wrong way and misinterpreted.
Yeah, that as well. And also fights between the tribes as well.
Yeah.
One tribe thinks they're better than the rest, but you know, we're all one.
It's okay.
I mentioned that I was going to say a curse as well. That pertains to the Israelites to identify them, especially the tribe of Judah. So it says here, Deuteronomy 28 verse 16.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again, with ships. By the way, thereof I take upon thee, thou shalt see no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and no man shall buy you. No man buy you.
Shall buy you. Exactly. So if we think about today, who's actually been sold as bondmen and bondwomen? The so-called Negroes. So because of the fact that they've been sold as bondwomen and bondmen, we can identify them. Yeah, the Pharaoh. Yeah. But at the same time, Deuteronomy is a book written after Exodus as well. So the Exodus has already happened. But he said he's going to do it again. It says here, Deuteronomy 28 verse 60, and the Lord shall bring thee from Egypt again, which means that he's already done it before. So the reason why Egypt is not literally Egypt. It's talking about the place of bondage, the representation of the place of bondage. For example, you know the way
Ships.
slave ships, slave ships are which deliver these Israelites, the so-called Negroes. It's not just Negroes as well, Negroes, Latinos, but they have their own history as well, which is them. But the focus of that scripture right there brings things to the Negroes. They're the ones who are sold in slave ships, bondmen and bondwomen, which means slave ships. So of course, as I said before, talking about fake Jews and real Jews, you've got to identify the real ones, they are persons. And that's one of those curses to identify. Okay, who today has been affected by these curses? But if you look at the fake Jews in the land of Israel, they didn't really go through that type of captivity. They didn't go through that curse specifically. Another one as well, another one of these curses to identify and be the real Israelites are. As I said, Negroes, Latinos, and neighboring Indians. They have their own history as well, which is scriptures. Currently, I'm still learning, but I'm just teaching.
It will take time, you know.
Yeah.
And you are learning Hebrew as well?
Ancient Hebrew, yes. The modern Hebrew, modern later.
Yeah. Okay.
But eventually,
Ancient
modern
Hebrew
Hebrew.
is good, then you can interpret well and know. Yeah.
So one of the scriptures as well is not 15, it's 29. So it says in Revelation, Deuteronomy 28 verse 29. Thou shalt go by the sun, bruises, man bruises, darkness. That's our Savior. So of course, no man's going to be willing to actually save these type of people today in this modern age as well, which is part of the person. And then if you think about it, you know, the so-called Negroes, when they go to the workplace, they're not really treated as well. Sometimes they're not treated, but of course, they have their shortcomings too.
I know that. It's been going on for a while.
1950s, 60s.
Building of America was Jackson, when the ships went in 1688.
And it's not even there then as well. From the Native American Indians,
Yeah.
so because of the fact that they stole it, and they also prophesied that our land will be stolen from us, that's also bringing to the fact that the Native American Indians are also Israelites too. So it's not just Negroes, Native American Indians. Latinos as well, I'm still studying them, but they're also part of the tribe.
Peru and all that, you know.
Yeah. Bolivia, Brazil, Argentina.
They took away North America and they wanted to go down to the south, but you know they were a little difficult for them, the land and stuff, yeah.
Exactly.
And also the Spanish conquistadors, yeah. They really abused that.
All these colonies, French, Spanish, Portuguese, all of these.
You name it, all the colonies and
That's probably the reason why the Latinos right now speak the same language as the Spanish as well. I mean, Well, Spanish colonies always said
Spanish, Portuguese, Italian,
Is that?
all
So I read a scripture that says, and thou shalt grow, sorry. It says, and thou shalt grow at noondays as the night opens in darkness. So what that means is, so,
even if when the truth is there, you will not see it.
so groping is that searching for something in the darkness with your hand that you can't see anything.
Even when there's lightness and you cannot see it. Yeah?
It means that Israelites today, not all of them will be actually able to wake up to the truth, that they're actually Israelites. Not all of them will be willing. And that goes into another scripture as well. Zechariah chapter 13, verse 9. Let me try again.
Which church are you from?
This is, Great Millstone, that's the name of it, Great Millstone. They're different groups. But the group that I'm a part of, that I believe that is the same group, is Great Millstone. I can show you probably a scripture, or a picture after. But in terms of the church, it's not really a physical place. It's rather a church on the street.
Church is everywhere, in your heart, in your house, in your neighbors, together.
And the Most High says that you don't dwell in places built by men. I don't know if you remember that scripture, but I think that's in the book of Acts as well. So let me get that. Oh yeah, Zechariah.
What do you think of the Torah?
The Torah. Yeah, I mean that's part of the scriptures as well. We believe in. That's fine as well. We believe on it 100%. Also, we know today as well that most individuals call the Most High's name as God, but that term God isn't really the true name of the Most High. Normally, if you go into the scriptures, it mentions each time has Lord in capital letters.
Yeah.
I think in the
Lord
Blue
my
Letter,
Father.
in the Blue Letter Bible, if you go to the Strauss Concordance, it says Jehovah there, but that's not his name. Because if you go to the ancient Hebrew, 21, there's 22 letters of the ancient Hebrew. Ancient, it ends with the sound R. So R, 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 and so on. The only letter that has a different sound is I. So all of them is R, and then there's one letter that sounds like I. So I. But the thing is, the Most High is not Yehovah. If you use the ancient Hebrew letters to convert from Yehovah to the actual name, it's Yahweh. That's the Yahweh. That's it. So then the son's name as well, named into the father's name, is not Jesus Christ. Going back to the Greek, going to the Latin as well. I think it's Jesus, and then from Jesus goes to Joshua. We need to take that name, what Jesus is, to Joshua. And okay, how is Joshua in the ancient Hebrew? Joshua in the ancient Hebrew is Yahweh Shai. And even in the name of the Son, even in the name of the Son, it has the name of the Father within it. So when the Son says he comes he comes to earth to do the Father's will, I think even in his own name it shows it too. That's how Yahweh Shai is. That's how God is. So that's just the name broken down.
Do you have an internet? They have the internet page that one can read more about.
There are some, but I'll need to write it down next time now that you want to. But I don't know if anyone
could do,
But they do have some. Yahweh means, Yah meaning he, then Hawa meaning exists.
No, not the name. I mean,
the website.
Yeah, of your teachings.
I didn't write it down. That's the thing. But next time I will.
It's interesting. See, it's something that interests me that I like to follow and find out. Knowledge is power anyway. Not power.
Have you heard of the Mark of the Beast?
The number is 666.
Yeah, you've heard of it. That 666 represents a man. And of course, it's not just one man, but it's a group of people enough to build up this beast system. And this beast system is where no man is going to be able to buy and sell. So in that time that no one could buy or sell, people thought that it was going to be a tattoo. But people who got tattoos, people who didn't get tattoos, they could still buy and sell something. And then the next one, which is currently right now, is the vaccine. People think that that will be the one but right now, in the UK and some other countries, those who have taken it, those who haven't taken it, still buy and sell, so that's what they are. But it doesn't mean that I don't want to say it again because it will take that much video. So you know, YouTube or misinformation or something like that. You don't want any other videos talking about vaccine apart from so I call it the falsehood. So essentially, the real mark of the beast is the microchip. It's going to be to the point where and it says the right hand or the foot. The thing is, it's not just the right hand, but the left hand or any part of the body. Pretty much the body where you can use it to pay for. For example, in Sweden right now, currently, the microchip is going to pay for goods and services. That's what's happening in China as well. They may not be using microchips, but right now they have they're using phones to pay for cash. So right now, what the message is, we're coming into a cashless society where people start using phones and credit cards will then transition into using microchips. That's when the scripture in Revelation 13 verse 16 to 18 about the one will say that no one can buy and sell without this microchip.
They will be putting microchips in our body.
Even in this
they already started doing in pets and all that. Yeah, those people where they can like take a look down. Small people, but this will be putting microchips in our body. It'll be like any medicine, the little like honey. But inside there is
there's a lot. And the thing is, you can't see with the naked eye. You need a microscope to actually. Even if you search up
today what Elon Musk has done. Yesterday, yes, he was that. Now he wants to open it up again.
Twitter?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So he wants to open it to everybody. So he wants people like Trump back on the news. Yesterday you can see what he did about the aid and all that.
Exactly, that's true. So at the same time,
and he's from Elon Musk is from South Africa, where we used to look. They took away your love. Because of the resources and like the people so rich Africa. Now they say the only place that you can save Africa, so that's where they can get the world's money. Because whether it's good like this, up vertically grow land, the land is so much that they can go vertical farming and all that. But Africa is terrible. We need the right to find in 1960s the Pan-African society together to bring Africa together.
well, that's one thing as
One
well.
language and
That's one thing because Israelites, although most of them, when you look at them, if you call them African, there's a difference between an actual real African and there's a difference between an Israelite and an African. That's the thing. The Israelites, they came from the real land, and they know the land of Israel. Fake Jews are there. Right. So the real Israelites were the Hebrew, the Hebrew language. So then it was supposed to be existing. Got impossible push us out of the land and also because of the more time.
the real R, There's also the real R.
Those are known as
the
Ishmaelites. The Arabs are known as Ishmaelites in the Bible. The Chinese are Moabites. The Japanese are Ammonites. And there's many more as well. I think Christians may be So all the nations are probably within the Bible, most of the nations. So I was going to get another But yeah, pretty much we're coming into a time where there's going to be an end of one rulership. I think you know about the story of Jacob and Esau.